Hi, this video was made in preparation for the Roadrunner and roller coaster problems. Okay, first, I'm going to give you an equation, but in a different format, different from our f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so as you can see here, this is now f of x is equal to x minus 3 squared plus 2, and I'm going to show you how to get the vertex and axis, but showing you just the graph. Okay. So given two equations, one is the quantity of x minus 3 squared plus 2, and g of x is equal to simply x minus 3 squared. If I show you the graph of x squared here, this is how it will look like. And then I'm going to show you x minus 3 squared. And it's the same graph, but it only moved 3 units. So from the 0 point of origin, it's 1, 2, 3 to the right. Okay, so once again, you have x squared and the darker blue, and then when it's x minus 3 squared, it moved 3 units to the right. Now I'm going to show you x minus 3 squared plus 2. Okay, so there you go. It's now in green and it moved up by 2 units. And so the vertex is 3 and 2. So that's your coordinates, 3, 2. So what I would like you to do is simply look at it and then see if you can find the pattern and how you can use the equation to find what is the vertex. Okay, when you are ready, okay, so what you do is stop the video, and when you are ready, we can go to the next and listen to what I'm going to show you in the next slide. Okay. Now that you are in this part, I suppose that you already understand the first part. Okay, the standard form for this equation is f of x is equal to a, I hope you still remember the leading coefficient a, times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. This is when a is not equal to 0. The same thing as before, when your a is bigger than 0 or greater than 0, your parabola or your graph should be facing up or opening upward. If your a is less than 0 or it's a negative, that means that your parabola is facing down. Okay. The axis, which is x, will be equal to h, and h is over here. So then, if this is the case, the vertex is, the x coordinate is your x over here, and negative h, and the y coordinate is k over here. So I'm going to show you some more equations. So we have 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. We are going to find the axis of symmetry and vertex. Okay, first is I'm going to use completing the square, because completing the square will give us this format. Okay, if we do factoring, it will get us to finding the x-intercepts right away, but we are not going to end in this format. Okay, so 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. I'm factoring out 2. So 2 is outside, so you have x squared plus 2x. Now, inside this bracket, I'm going to make a perfect square. So we have 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. Because we have a 2 outside, that means that we have added 2 in here. Before, when we do completing the square, we put the 2 out here on the other side to balance the equation. This time, we are not moving that 2 to the other side because we are aiming to get our equation into this format. We are just changing the format of our equation to find out what is our vertex. Okay, so this is another way of finding a vertex in a different form of equation. Okay, because in this bracket we added 2. Okay, to take it out or to balance it without moving that 2 to the other side, we subtract 2 in here. So that means if we added 2 here and then we have minus 2, it's still the same value. Okay. So on the next line, we have 2 and then we factored x squared by 2x plus 1. It's a perfect square. So it's x plus 1 squared minus 3 because negative 1 minus 2 is a negative 3 or a minus 3. Now, we just made our format from 2x squared plus 4x minus 1. It's still the same value, okay, but written in a different form, which is the standard form, and this equation, we turned it into this equation. Now, in the new standard form of the equation, we can use this to find out what is our vertex and axis of symmetry. In here, it says the axis is x is equal to h. Now, our h here is this one, the one beside the x inside the perfect square factor. So we're looking at 1. Okay, but in the general format, it's negative h, so we get the opposite of 1, which is a negative 1. So our axis of symmetry is negative 1. So that's if our axis of x is negative 1, so that means our x coordinate is negative 1. Our h is negative 1. Now, if we look at this form, okay, here minus 3 and it says here plus k. Your k is the y coordinate of your vertex. So your minus 3 is your negative and your y coordinate of the vertex. So we actually found the vertex by just looking at this form of equation, the standard form of quadratic equation or quadratic function. The axis of symmetry is negative 1 and our vertex is negative 1 and negative 3. Okay. Another one, example. This is the same example that we did before, but this is when we graph using vertex, y-intercept, and x-intercepts. Okay, so negative x squared plus 6x plus 7. Again, I'm going to use completing the square because our aim is to get the standard form. Using completing the square, we're going to factor out negative 1 so that your x squared is positive. So this will turn into negative 6x or minus 6x. Now we would like to form the one inside the bracket into a perfect square equation. So we have negative x squared minus 6x plus 9. That makes it into a perfect square equation because really this is a negative 9. To balance it out, we added 9. We added negative 9. We need to put plus 9 to make it a 0 so that it will be the same value. Okay, again, before we used to put this 9 at the other side, but we can't do that anymore because we are just changing the form of our equation. Okay, so to simplify this, we will have negative x minus 3 squared. That will be the 16 is plus 7 and plus 9, so you have a 16. Okay, now you have a standard format now. Standard form. We can now look at this and we can find what is our, okay, this tells us that your A is less than 0, so your parabola is facing downward, okay, and then check the form on the other slide, see what is your H. H tells you the axis of symmetry and the x coordinate of your vertex. Okay, so your h is, this is your h, but because this is a negative, we get the opposite. So that's 3. And then your k is 16. So your x, axis of symmetry, is equal to 3. And your vertex is 316. So here you go. You have your 316 vertex. If you want to keep going and find the x-intercept, you can use factoring. Again, you can use completing the square, your quadratic formula and completing the square. Okay, this is it, and good luck on your roller coaster and roadrunner problems.